How strong are the Slendytubbies? About 2 years ago, I made a video talking about Slendytubbies power scaling. However, that video is extremely outdated now, so I'm making a new one, and this time we're going to cover the actual mainline series. Now, a lot of power scaling for Slendytubbies requires calculations. I don't do those, so I'm just going to be listing you feats, and then you can come to a conclusion on the calculations of where this would scale. I will, however, try my best to give a rough estimate of where they would scale at the end of the day, as well as covering things such as hexes and abilities. To start with some lower end stuff, near the beginning of the campaign, Tinky Winky is able to casually decapitate Dipsy. This range of lower end feats is actually pretty consistent, given not much time later he also cuts down a pretty large tree. Now the next argument is slightly less concrete, so do as you will with it. When Tinky Winky consumes the final custard and becomes Tinky Tank, a rainstorm begins. Now in other game modes in the multiplayer game, Tinky Winky is shown to be able to manipulate electricity, and thunder can be heard. This possibly suggests that Tinky Winky may have actually created the storm, and if this is the case, then I believe this can range anywhere from large town to small city level. Another lower end feat is the fact that the main infected Tubbies are able to tank several RPG shots. Cave Tubby is also able to hit several rocks out of the ground just from hitting the ground. Now as for speed, the main Tubbies have guns, which should make their attack speed within the supersonic ranges. However, characters like Tinky Winky are able to manipulate and use electricity and lightning as attacks, which would potentially buff it to massively hypersonic. For abilities and hexes, the verse has very basic stuff like electricity, lightning, fire, ice, etc. manipulation. Although there are some slightly more interesting ones like shadow or darkness manipulation from characters such as Shadow Tubby. Now there is another argument people use to get the verse much higher than previously listed. However, I don't have all of the scans or information about it, so I'm not 100% sure. Again, I'm just giving you information, I'm not confirming nor denying it. Shadow Tubby has his own dimension called the Dream, which he can transport the Guardian to, with this dimension having no end visible. He potentially even has more than one because of when the Guardian walks down the stairs. And time also passes differently in these dimensions. We know this because the Guardian states what feels like minutes could really be hours when he's inside of them, and it takes him significantly longer to walk down the stairs than the others. People will use this to argue these dimensions are actually their own universes with their own space-time continuum, and thus making Shadow Tubby anywhere from universal to possibly even low multiversal. So where does the verse actually scale at the end of the day? You can most likely make very sound arguments that stuff like wall to building level are consistent, or maybe large town to small city, with Shadow Tubby potentially being anywhere from universal to low multiversal. Anyways, that'll be about it.